everyone, and welcome to Meet the Coach. And I am not your usual host, the founder of the coaching directory, Carla Egan. However, I am Zoë Wood, your queen of first impressions, welcoming you to one of our first of our 2 bonus episodes for this gearing up for season 3 of the Meet the Coach podcast. Don't worry, I won't be jabbering for long, but essentially what we'll be doing over these bonus episodes is revisiting some of our previous coaches who are dropping wisdom nuggets. Wisdom nuggets? Is it? Yeah, that's what I'm calling it. I'm calling it wisdom nuggets to be able to drop some expert wisdom nuggets and be able to have you guys refresh on what we've done in the previous 2 seasons of the Meet the Coach podcast. How Carla has been interviewing the coaches of the coaching directory and showing you what is possible with the power of coaching. First, we start off with Caroline Apostolou of Inspired to Nurture. She is a health and well-being coach that works with mothers. And the mothers that she has in her group were having difficulty adapting to COVID life and restrictions and lockdowns. And how their routines and all the work that they did, especially mothers who have been trying to build a routine for their family, had to adapt during COVID times. This snippet is talking about what they learnt and also tips and tricks that you can use in your own life when adapting to change, and also maybe making changes for yourself and your family and also your routine into the new year.
You do help busy mums, but busy mums are also in the corporate world, and I know that you're already running mental health workshops for employees that may be experiencing some stress or some anxiety, some uncertainty, particularly around things that may be happening in their life, but in the world as well. Can you just share a little bit about what you're doing in that space, Carolyn, and who you're helping, and how's the feedback being received in what you're delivering?
Well, having lived in Melbourne, the lockdown capital, for the last 2 years, I really know firsthand the challenges, and not only trying to work, but also trying to homeschool 4 kids. I mean, it was crazy times, and some days were really out of control and other days, thankfully, were far smoother. My husband is still working from home, even though the kids are now back at school. So there's been a lot of challenges and changes to our patterns. And that provided an opportunity to reach out for me to employers that I knew and to offer some health and wellbeing workshops specifically for their staff on how they could support their staff and manage their mental health whilst they were working from home. And a lot of this information was just creating a workspace that's different from their sleep area, to make sure that they moved their body and they maintained all the things that brought them joy prior to the lockdowns that they could still do. So really encouraging them to still go out for a run or do an online workshop, and to really look at nourishing their bodies with good food, because we can all fall into the trap when we're working from home and the pantry's just over there, to be constantly snacking and moving to the pantry or to sugary snacks and things like that. So the workshops were very well received. As you can imagine, the employers loved to be able to be seen to be supporting their staff, and I think the staff really appreciated the reminder of a lot of the tips and the strategies that I was sharing with them. And I got lots of comments like, when can Carolyn come back? And I have been back at quite a few of those companies running other workshops on resilience, on sleep techniques, on just parenting, and all sorts of things. So I really love that opportunity to connect with the corporate workers, who many of those are busy mums and dads who just needed a refresh on some health and wellbeing.
And now on to our next coach. Our next coach is Dr. Simone Bohr of A Fresh Approach Coaching and Consulting. She is a business coach, and her tidbit is going to give us brain hacks. She's going to break it down for us because she is a very smart coach, and I'm going to let her and Carla lead us in.
You touched on the key word that I'm keen to dive into, which is the brain hacks, right? And you mentioned that you got this toolkit on the side. Can you share with us, if it's appropriate, what are some of these tools that you talk about? Can you give us an example of a brain hack that perhaps you've helped somebody else with?
Yeah, not a problem. So before I tell you what a brain hack is, I'll give you the lead up to a brain hack. Now, our brains are lazy creatures, absolutely lazy. And if our brains can take a shortcut, it will. And the reason for that is our processing within our brains requires an incredible, intense amount of power from our body. So much so that it has been mapped over 188 different shortcuts that our brain will take over time. So if you think about that, 188, that's a lot of shortcuts that our brain takes. So therefore, how I see the world and how I perceive the world is going to be completely different to how you see the world, Carla, and all the audience, and how you perceive the world. And any type of experience, I will see it differently, and you will see it differently. You will have your own truth, I will have my own truth. But the question is, what really is a truth as such? So these brain hacks are designed to basically cut through the shortcuts that your brain has made. And these shortcuts have been with us since basically we've been born and as the world forms around us. So these brain hacks, or the tool sets that I have, is aimed to cut through those shortcuts that our brain has made of the way that we view and we experience the world. And a really simple one of what a brain hack tool is visualization. So it's a meditation, for example, and what we do is we drop our beta brainwaves into our alpha brainwaves, and that opens the gateway to our subconscious. Now, the really interesting thing is we think we are consciously making decisions all of the time, but we're not. 99% of our decision making is actually made subconsciously. So a visualization is a really simple tool, for example, to actually go into our subconscious and to start to reframe the way that our subconscious views the world, and therefore our decision making as well.
And our final coach for this bonus episode is Catherine Wood of Life Renewal. She is a leadership, executive, and health and well-being coach here on the Coaching Directory. Her snippet is specifically talking about dealing with change in corporate, but I believe this tip is very universal to help anyone and everyone when dealing with change, when it comes to your family, to your team, to your work life, to your personal life. This mentality can help you shift and grow as a person to be able to accept any change that comes your way.
It'll be useful to know.
Yes, so really a memorable experience with my coaching has been just in the last couple of years with the COVID and the impact of that on organizations. And I've been coaching leaders, and this particular leader I was coaching, she was very frustrated and overwhelmed with the change and uncertainty taking place in the organization, and particularly within her team. And before she'd begun coming to me for the coaching, she really had this frustration about, why is this happening? Why is it happening to her and her team and the organization? And she didn't know really how to support her team. She put all the pressure on herself to actually take responsibility over her team, but also how they were feeling and how they were supposed to manage their own personal lives in the grand scheme of things. And she found that very exhausting and time consuming. And when she came to me, she really wanted some help with that. So with the coaching, we started looking at her resilience. So building personal resilience to really help her to build the skills to adapt and be able to advance during this really difficult time. And with those skills, she developed the ability to have more of a coaching approach to her team. So she could then open up asking questions about how her team members were feeling, what they were experiencing, how they could work better together, what strengths they had. And she actually started up strength-based little workshops where they could share with each other the strengths that they saw in each other and how they could draw those into their work and how they could support each other during that difficult time. And the outcome was that she started at the beginning feeling very frustrated, but by the end of it, she'd got a team who were really thriving, although in a very difficult situation, they could work better together and she could better support them for it.
A great story.
Thank you for joining us on this bonus episode of the Meet the Coach podcast. Next week, we'll have another bonus episode before we'll have the trailer for season 3, and then season 3 will kick off as of early 2023. If you are listening in the back catalogue and it is way in the future, I am sure that we have plenty of new podcast episodes for you to be able to listen to and learn more about the coaches on the Coaching Directory. We connect clients to coaches, and you can find us at thecoachingdirectory.com.au. Make sure you download the next episode. See ya. Bye.